Hi Red Deer, it's Dianne Wyntjes and I'm one of your 8 city councilors, and today I'm giving you a perspective of the last year. And before I start, I always like to look at where we started in the beginning of the year and to think about our successes and opportunities that we've had. And I think about the resolution where Council brought forward to keep Michener Centre open. For me, that was a real highlight for our city, that the province, listening to other citizens across Alberta and in Red Deer to keep Michener Centre open, we won that. And I think, and I thank the provincial government for making that decision. So that was a real highlight for me. Secondly, of course, was being a member, along with Councillor Lee, on the Canada Winter Games bid committee. We brought home the successful bid against the city of Lethbridge. So Red Deer is ready, and we're ready to bring the Winter Games to us in 2019. The third thing was, for me, the amenity survey. Many of the citizens probably participated in that, and it brought to us as council the priorities that we can look at for our capital budget planning in the next 10 years, so that's very positive. The next thing I think that I look back at successes where we had a number of schools that were opening. We had the Francophone school that had an opening, as well as a public and a Catholic school. And certainly that leads us to welcoming and inclusive communities. That, for me, is we welcome new citizens to our community, new businesses, and that's all part of our growth. I also look at, we broke ground with the Yasulam Aboriginal Housing Centre, which for me is very important, but that doesn't take away what we have to look at is more housing, affordable housing for our community, which will continue in the coming year, working with our federal government on having a national housing strategy, as well as the provincial government in terms of how we meet those housing needs in our community. And then I also think about, of course, for me, overall, we had a great year. Opportunities and challenges, but I think we worked well together with our council, listening to our community, and look forward to 2015 and the year ahead. So I'm thinking about the challenges for 2015, and one of the first things that hits all of us, I think, when we're filling up our cars and vehicles with gas, the price might be low, but we're going to pay for that in other ways, of course. The province will give us grants and funds to municipalities, and with the lower price of the oil, that's going to affect us as municipalities. I think about the families and construction workers. We all know that likely the plants that are in operation in Fort McMurray in the north will continue, but it's any new construction, and that impacts a lot of construction workers. And Red Deer, for the most part, is very much an energy industry location. We, I think, are going to see some of those impacts. I'm hopeful that the province will work with us in municipalities on what those impacts might be. I think we've lived through a lot of booms and busts. I'm born and raised in Alberta, and I've been through a few of them, but this one I think is different. And what does that mean for us in terms of other energy alternatives? To me, it's about not only the province, but the federal government as well. We're looking at for alternatives, alternative choices, investments in thinking about other than energy. What else can we look at for our province in terms of innovations, technologies, and investments? So 2015 will be a very, very interesting year, and I hope we're going to end it on a positive measure. If you didn't know, Red Deer is the third largest city in Alberta. But for me, we need to think about what that means for us. I see a lot of new people moving in from Ontario, Quebec, the Maritimes, BC, Saskatchewan, and so we have a new citizenship in our city. And over this past year, we had a great opportunity to talk about what is Red Deer, and so that information will be coming out to the citizens to do what I call a replay back to the citizens to identify that's what we heard. And then we'll talk about mapping ourselves as a community, not only internally what it means for Red Deerians, but also provincially as well. And I think it's really important. One of the things that we often do as governments is talk to each other, which is important. It's the advocacy levels. We can't set our laurels on being the third largest city in Alberta. We have to act like it. We have to have effective relationships. And we have to have a vision in terms of what that means in terms of building and growing our city. And that means, to me, it's about housing, it's about being a welcome and inclusive community, it's about planning, it's ensuring that our developers and businesses have quick responses as our administration work with them. And that all puts us as what I see as a great place to do business, and also a great place to live, work, and play. This last October, I was appointed to the Alberta Urban Municipalities Association, the AUMA Safe and Healthy Communities. And I'm really looking forward to that work, which is an opportunity to sit down with other Alberta municipalities to talk about ideas, concepts, challenges, and opportunities that they're facing in terms of safe and healthy communities. And I think often we think sometimes we're alone in our work. Clearly, I see there's value in organizations such as the Federation of Canadian Municipalities and the Alberta Urban Municipalities Association, because it brings together the thinkers, the doers, the councillors, the mayors, the administrations, where we share ideas so we don't have to repeat mistakes, but in fact we work on our successes and make our cities and communities like Red Deer a better and great place to live.